Hey guys, John here. I am with Mario Tomic, a friend of mine here, also a YouTuber, really great fitness expert and fitness coach. I had the opportunity when I came to Barcelona. I saw that Mario. I saw his story on Instagram. Saw he was just flying into Barcelona at the same time, and so I said, "Oh, I got to take this opportunity to meet up in person."
I appreciate it, man. Glad to meet up with you here, and it's complete coincidence. I really didn't know that you were coming here, but it's always nice. I mean, it's awesome to do some stuff in person as well.
I guess, you know, let's start off by, for everyone that's not familiar, like, what's your story? Because I think you've got a lot of common history with a lot of my audience, because a lot of my audience is software developers. You know, I've changed the brand to Bulldog Mindset, but there's still a lot of software developers and kind of geeks and nerds there, and I know you have kind of the geek nerd history.
Yeah, it's a funny story. I mean, a lot of stuff, when you start out as a kid, you don't know where you're going to end up, but you don't even know where you're going to end up in a couple of years from usually. I start off, I mean, super nerdy kid. That really means, in where I'm from, is that you had one or two friends maybe, like through the entire high school and primary school and all of that. In college, I met up with more nerds. But I got into this computer science field initially because my dad is in electronics, so he's an electronics engineer. So he's super passionate about that, so I was exposed to computers from a very early age. I mean, we had the first computer in our city. So basically, like, the first computer was like a 286 processor in there. So it was like one of the first ones. That was before even Windows was invented, right? So it was super epic. I was exposed to that early on, and it was kind of like a passion of mine before even I got into fitness, because I was more passionate about that initially, right? Yeah. And then eventually I went into high school, college, and in college I studied computer science, actually. So I got a master's in that. But how fitness came in, because in college I actually destroyed my health completely because I was a professional gamer at some point. I was gaming, I was doing World of Warcraft, I was also developing, I was doing a lot of stuff, I was learning different database. I was programming a lot of in C#, like we were doing that, and I was actually thinking about that's going to be my career and I got to learn these things. What happened eventually is that I realized that my actual passion wasn't computer science. It was more about fitness and nutrition, and really not so much. When you say fitness and nutrition, it doesn't make sense, but it's like the body is like an input and you get this output. And if you know how to create a different input for yourself, you can change your body. You can be the superhero that you could be in a video game. You can be that superhero in real life. And that was like the thing that, for me personally, I spent like 20 years hardcore gaming, 20 years, right? I would level up these characters. I was always passionate about it. I was always watching Dragon Ball. I was always passionate about this improvement, this progression. But I never really had it in real life, right? I never had it, that feeling that I'm moving forward, that something's happening, I'm getting stronger. And I was a pretty weak kid, and I was escaping, in one way, the reality of being weak and hiding in video games. So when I discovered gym, in fitness, I was like, wow, you can actually get stronger. As I was getting stronger and stronger and stronger, I was like, shit, I can be that superhero that I leveled up. And I quit gaming, I quit all kinds of other stuff that was happening in my life, and I committed fully to my fitness journey. Eventually that led me to start YouTube, and eventually that led me to start my company now, which we're a big company. We work primarily with entrepreneurs and professionals, a lot of software developers actually, because the type of content that I do is very scientific, very logical, algorithmic in nature. So I'm a big fan of processes, systems, and data, which is really what attracts a lot of software developers to my company, to come from coaching. And it's just been a crazy journey, man. I mean, appreciate you inviting me here. It's just been really crazy, guys.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have a similar background for sure. I was a big World of Warcraft player.
Yeah, that was the one, man. That was the one.
And I played video games all throughout my, you know, growing up and stuff.
My first girlfriend was an orc.
Nice. But you know, I think that you're right. It's like when you discover in real life that you can level up and make progress, and it actually benefits your life. Whereas in the World of Warcraft, I mean, you can lead a raid, I guess, and you know, whatever. But
you can learn some things, but it's a lot of it is escaping reality.
So the thing I really wanted to ask you about is, you know, I think one of the big challenges that, I mean, I face this as well, and a lot of people that I've mentored have faced as well, is really the mental game of the whole body transformation fitness, right? And so, you know, I know that you focus a lot on that you've got the science behind it, and you've gone through it yourself, obviously. What kind of things do you think that someone, or what are the challenges, I'd say, that you face mentally with this?
Love that, and that is absolutely true. We know a lot more than what we're doing. So we know that vegetables are good. We know that we should eat a little bit more protein. We know that the gym is around the corner. We know how much it costs. We sign up already. And proportional to how much we know, we take very little action. Right. So not much is happening. And what I've realized, and I've been working a lot on the mindset side of things ever since the start. I've been studying psychology. I went into the data, the science of that, because I realized that half of the game is the knowledge and having the right systems to give you results. So that is giving you the confidence mentally then to keep going. But one of the biggest challenges for us is that these stories that we tell ourselves, and as you lean down, I'm going to take an example because that's what most guys want to do. They want to lean down, they want to get abs, they want to get shredded. One of the big challenges that you're going to face is self-sabotage, feeling like an imposter, like a bit of an imposter syndrome. Like, am I really the guy that goes to the gym? Like, am I really the guy that eats healthy? I was supposed to go. I know all my buddies like love when I'm like overeating and and I'm drinking with them, and I'm just the loose guy. So am I supposed to be this regimented? And I don't mean like 100% like Army, Navy SEAL style, but you still have to have a routine like that is solid that you're following if you want success. This self-sabotage that's happening as you keep going down, your mind is like, you're literally fighting your mind. Right. And you're fighting your mind on so many different levels, because we evolved to fight off the environment that we're in, so to survive. Basically, hunger signaling, everything shoots up, you're getting more anxious, like all these things. That adds also, of course, increased stress. And then you're telling yourself all kinds of stories and rationalizations as you get leaner and leaner why you should quit and why you should stop doing it. So you get to 12% body fat, you're like, yeah, man, I'm good enough. Regardless of the fact 10 was your goal, and by doing that, even those little like micro failures there, you've kind of disappointed yourself in a sense. You said you're going to do something, then you don't do it, and then you kind of lose a little bit of integrity with yourself. But it's really about like, once you commit to something, you got to be able to follow through on your commitment. So before you commit to something, really, okay, where do I want to go? Is that really where I want to go? Right. And have a game plan. Then you start developing your game plan, but have the process in check, and then anticipate that in the moment now, you're rational, you're thinking logically, you're thinking step by step. Anticipate that in the future, your monkey mind, which I call the monkey brain, right, is gonna try to sabotage you. Now, while you have your human side and your logical and your analytical mind straight, you can create environments and processes and kind of trap and guide that monkey mind, same as you're guided in an airport, to make the right decisions when you don't have your cognitive powers at 100%. Because that's the key. That's literally the key, is to building habits. The key is to be able to make the right decisions when you're under stress, when under a lot of pressure, when you're overwhelmed with information. Those are really the keys that I've seen, and the ways people fail is they get overwhelmed at a moment and they can't actually overcome it mentally, because lack of action then, overload, lack of action leads to more anxiety leads to more overload, and then you're done. And you get into these negative loops, and you're, oh, this is not for me, I'm not this person, this doesn't work for me. At the end of the day, it's really the fact that you haven't taken any action, and you've probably mismanaged your expectations, you didn't have the right systems in place, and you have to realize that you have two minds. I think Daniel Kahneman talks about this. You have the fast and the slow thinking brain. Right, yep. You have to have a plan for both. Right. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you have to have a plan for your reptile monkey brain, and you have to have a plan for your conscious, kind of deliberate mind. If you have that, you will succeed. Right. And we can talk about that more in depth, but this is really what I do with a lot of my clients, is we really focus on acting right in the situation when you don't have willpower at 100%, when you don't have the cognition at 100%, because that's the moment when you break, and then your rational mind rationalizes why you broke, and then you're off the track.
That's one of the things, like, I always create rules for myself, and it was like, even getting up this morning and running my 10 miles, I was like, should I, but I did, but it's only a brief second that I'm questioning that, because, oh no, I have to, because that's what the requirement is for today, and so once I have that much faith with myself, but yeah, I found that is critical.
Manipulating your environment inside of your house, that you don't have these certain foods available, that your gym clothes are ready every day, that you have the commitments that you made to your friends to show up, that you made, like, you set yourself up with systems and kind of like fail safes, right, that if you start going down, you're gonna catch yourself